Hello, welcome to Sidetracked, and hello to everyone watching on YouTube.
Hello. You guys are getting so involved in the comments. We are seeing them. We are appreciating them.
We're reading them.
Last week, Grimmy had a co-host with Shygirl.
Yes.
And there's some good comments, babe.
Yeah, people loved Shy.
JVZ loved Shy.
Oh, JVZ.
They said quarterly check-ins at least.
At least. Well, Shygirl did leave by saying, I have to come back, and I want to come back. And she wants to do it on the regular.
She seemed like such a good company.
Great company.
Yeah.
Hi to the Gate 1000, who said, I knew Elise was a banger before I hit play.
Wow.
Yeah, the new Shy is really, really good. Shy told us, if you didn't get last week's episode, a really great story that she did a music video, and it was a big music video, and then it just never came out because she starred in the latest Madonna video, of course.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, how is that? And she's like, well, I've actually done it before for a massive pop star. And she didn't say who or what, but she said who else was in it, and a lot of people in the comments trying to
guess who it was.
Yeah, but that's not.
And people think Beyonce? Wow. Yeah. Anyway, keep the comments coming.
Yes.
We would love to know what you'd like to see on Sidetracked, who you'd like to see on the YouTube channel. Now let's crack on, babe. We've got a lot of catching up to do.
Let's get into it. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
I'm Nick.
I'm Annie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
this is Sidetracked. We've had a few weeks apart, and now we are back together once more.
How many, though? Is it been that
Do you know,
long?
it's been a really long time because we had one go out, which was like our roundup of the summer.
Yeah.
But we did that like before the summer because
Yeah.
we knew we were going to be apart for a little while. So it's been a really long time.
4 weeks, I think.
4 weeks
Yeah.
apart.
This is the first time I've worn lipstick in a month.
You look gorgeous.
Thanks, babe. Appreciate that.
Yeah. You forget about Annie Mac's eyes, don't you? And then you see them and you're like,
They're really blue.
I met someone the other day and they were like, what about Annie's eyes?
Who was that?
Who was it? I can't remember. It'll come to me
Wow.
probably in about 4 hours from now.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, nice to see the eyeballs. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too,
Nice
babe.
to have you back.
Really nice to be back.
We have so much to go through. Before
it's
we get
mad.
into it, we should say there will be swearing in the podcast. Just a little warning. And we're going to attempt to do the week in music. But I thought there was so much to catch up on that we should sort of go through some things.
There's no way we're going to get through these as bullet points. Each one is an episode in themselves.
Well, these are things that I thought we should talk about.
Like the top one is Nick went to LA. You could talk for 20 minutes straight about that.
And I will right now. So day one, once we landed, we collected the bags. Then we got our Uber.
Did you come home better than when you left?
Did I come home? Why? What was wrong with me before I went?
No, but like you've had some dodgy trips to LA in the past.
I don't like LA.
Yeah.
No, that's a lie. I don't love LA.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's not for you. Maybe
It's
you're not
for
the
me.
intended
No.
audience.
No, and I think it feels for me, I don't mind going for like a week or something.
Yeah.
I used to go a lot for work. And when I used to do like T4 and E4, we used to go and do like interviews out there
Yeah.
all the time actually. And we used to hate going to LA because it was at the age when we were like 23, 24 maybe. And you know, it meant missing like a weekend at the pub with your friends.
Yeah, and LA's
it
a bit,
felt like the
LA might be a
world.
bit naff. Like when you're in London and it's all happening.
Yeah, and it was all happening. They were like, you're going to go and interview Jackie Chan. And I was like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
So we always would like not like going. So I don't know if it was like years of being like, oh.
Yeah.
But you know, I went for a wedding and had 2 weeks there and it was fine. The wedding was great and it was really nice. And
Yeah.
that was the highlight. And we had a really nice time with some friends out there.
Okay, good.
And a really funny time. But it's not my sort of dream holiday.
Yeah.
Like your holiday I was so jelly of.
Which
And
one?
when
The French one?
The French one.
Nah, you wouldn't have
bread
been-
on the beach and
Yeah,
crisps.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I love that crisps are always in your top line of a good holiday.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hot crisps.
But I basically realised that I booked us the most basic holiday. Like it was maybe a little too basic.
A little too rustic.
A little too rustic.
Right. Like
Yeah.
what?
Well, just like we were in this like little like
No roof.
like a caravan kind of thing,
Right.
you know, like which is love a caravan.
Love.
But it was just we didn't have our own car, so we just arrived with a suitcase and like the pillows were so uncomfortable and like I didn't get a good night. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just not sleeping
cozy.
well. It was not
cozy.
cozy.
Not cozy.
But we had a really good time still and swam in the sea a lot.
Yeah.
And ate a lot of bread.
Yeah.
So much bread.
Yeah.
The boulangerie.
Yeah.
was open every morning, and that was my favorite thing to do. Just get up and walk to the bakery on campsite.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think I missed about, and this is not a holiday podcast now. We will vaguely link this to music somehow, but it's not a walky place, LA.
It's not
a
a
lot of
walky
driving.
place.
Mish
Yeah.
doesnly drive. So you're just driving everywhere.
Yeah. And sitting in traffic,
and
I can
there's
imagine.
traffic, like
Yeah.
nuts traffic.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just felt like I was like some like man's assistant.
Yeah, it's not
I was just
relaxing.
like driving everywhere, picking shit up.
Yeah. That's not relaxing.
No.
That's not
I want
relaxing.
to walk and eat a French bread.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that.
Flip-flops.
I get that.
You know?
Yeah.
Loll around.
This is the tightest shoe I've worn in a month as well.
Yeah,
Wearing
wow.
a cowboy boot. Like
Yeah.
I've been wearing trainers and flip-flops for a month.
Yeah.
My
As you
feet don't know
should.
what to
Tis the
do.
season. Tis the season.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what was good about being there was the World Cup was on. That's how long we've not seen each other for.
Jesus
And
Christ.
the World Cup was on, and obviously it was out there, so the games were on at normal times.
Yeah.
So we did get like a real wave of World Cup fever.
That would have been
because
fun,
the
no?
games were on at like midday, 2 o'clock.
Were you
3
watching them in
o'clock.
sports bars?
Yeah, we went to all the sports bars and watched them, and it was every single English person you'd ever met
Fun.
watching
Really
the England
fun.
game. So it was like there was a time we all went to this pub and we watched the England game, and it was Matty Healy's wedding,
Yeah.
which when we were out there. So it was like him and all the band,
Yeah.
all their mates, British. Denise Welsh, his
Yeah.
mum,
Love,
British.
love.
Randomly, at the same time, Olivia Dean was on tour in LA.
Yeah.
So she was there with all her gang,
crew, yeah.
big British gang. Bieber Doobie was in there.
This
It was
is
a real gang,
incredible.
and then like loads
It's
of
like
people.
the
that-
Brits, the
they were-
football
It was
special.
like the Brits in this like
That is
dingy
gas.
pub at midday. On a Wednesday or something.
Wow.
And then there was loads of people that I used to work with who sort of did T4 and then like emigrated to go and be like hotshot producers out there.
Yeah.
So I think there was like.
And were you the person who gathered all these people together? That was just happening anyway.
It was just sort of a kismet moment.
Wow.
Yeah. And I want to just mention this about Olivia Dean, because obviously an incredible run of
Yeah.
what she's having at the moment of success, blah, blah, number one albums, worldwide tours, all of that. We love that for her. I think that I want to put some respect on Olivia Dean's name for a moment, because there was a time when she was, it was the afternoon, she was playing an arena that night, I think maybe 3 nights in LA, like 25,000 people a night or whatever. And I looked across the pub and she had an England shirt on and a Burberry headscarf, and she was down in a pint. And I just thought we should put some respect
Put some respect on that name.
on her name.
I love
and I
that.
was like, I like that she's like, and then she's going to go and
Play an arena?
play an arena. And I thought, you don't see that side of her.
You don't see that
No, and I
side
just
of her.
want to put some respect on her
She
name.
looks too slight to even get to
Yeah.
hold a pint's worth of liquid inside her.
No. So I just
Wow.
wanted to, not drink responsibly.
Yeah.
No, but it just was like, I was like, whoa.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it was nice to see a little football hooligan in
Yeah.
our glamorous pop star there.
I watched the England-Argentina game in Ibiza
Mm-hmm.
in what we thought would be just like a neutral sports bar.
Mm-hmm.
The entire bar was supporting Argentina.
Yeah, you loved it.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but I felt more at home.
Yeah.
But I did. I fucking adored the World Cup.
Same.
I
I
watched
really-
every match. I was heartbroken when it was over. I didn't know
Same.
what to do with myself.
Same, I felt like that. And I think at the beginning I didn't.
Yeah.
I was a bit like, I don't know if I'm going to get, I think there's a lot of weird like Trump stuff and like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
changing
yeah.
of things. And I don't know, I just didn't have World Cup fever, but we got there in the end, didn't we?
And then when you were away at that trip,
Mm-hmm.
obviously we had CMAT. And me and CMAT co-hosted, and
I was so sad I missed that.
we talked about the World Cup halftime. So how did you feel about the World Cup halftime?
It was totally deranged.
It was so deranged.
It was
wasn't
so
it?
deranged.
It was so deranged.
I actually had a really crazy day that day. So that was was it the Sunday? Yeah.
It was a
the
Saturday
Sunday.
afternoon, no? The World Cup
No.
final? Oh, it was a Sunday, you're right.
It was a Sunday. Because
Yeah.
the Saturday was England-France.
Yeah.
Which was an amazing
I know.
game.
So that was my birthday in the pub,
Oh.
in Maggie's. Everyone,
That was a good game.
And it was just like the best football game ever.
Yeah,
the
that
most
was-
entertaining game ever. I couldn't have asked for a better birthday match.
Are we doing a sports podcast?
Maybe, babe.
Um,
Not no.
Not no. You play.
Oh,
I
I played in the
watch.
FA Cup
Oh yeah.
on Sunday.
How's that?
We lost.
Oh no. Are you out?
But I dreamt about it all summer
Oh no.
and was obsessed with it. But I did play for 80 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And we had our own dugouts and our own linesmen
Mm-hmm.
and our own like amazing ref.
Uh-huh.
And it really saw how the other half lived
Wow.
in football.
Wow.
But the better team won.
Oh.
Yeah.
When's your next game?
2 weeks.
If you were to have a halftime show at your next football match,
That's a good one.
what would you keep from the World Cup and what would you lose?
I'd probably keep Madonna.
Well, I like that because that was absolutely batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
I love the car driving around with them, Ronaldo and all them. Like,
it was
Ronaldinho, is it?
unhinged.
Yeah. Like,
I was watching it like,
no, I love
the
that.
fuck is going on?
I was into that.
Yeah.
It was berserk in a good way.
Berserk.
The segue into Justin Bieber. I mean, he's a brave guy.
No,
he's a brave
he
guy
sounded fantastic.
for taking that on with a fucking acoustic guitar,
Absolutely.
with a
Ballsy.
song that nobody knows. Like, wow, well done.
Yeah.
Maybe people do know
They
that.
do
Sorry,
know it.
I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
that.
Yeah. Big song. Big song.
Nobody knows it.
Nobody knows. No, but it was not very like party.
But clearly he was like, I will do this
Yeah.
only if I get to perform
Yeah.
this song. And Chris Martin, who was the guy
World
behind it,
Cup,
was probably like,
hallelujah.
all right, we'll make good work.
Yeah.
So I would probably leave Bieber.
Yeah.
I'd probably have Madonna and Sesame Street.
Oh yeah, the Muppets.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the Muppets.
The
yeah.
Muppets.
I'll have Madonna and the Muppets.
Yeah.
Who else would I have?
Madonna and the Muppets, I could see.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could
But yeah,
work.
that was absolutely batshit crazy.
It was, wasn't it?
Another thing was Charlie's album came out.
Okay.
Music, fashion, film.
Yep.
In that order. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Music, fashion, film.
And how has it been received in your opinion?
Incredibly well. Yeah.
Great.
I heard it. It came out on, I think, the last Friday I was in America because it did. So I got to hear it in quite an optimum situation that I thought really suited, which was we'd gone out to Malibu for a few days to the beach, and actually we couldn't actually get in the sea because it was like quite a ferocious week. The
Of
waves
weather,
were
you mean?
mental, so you couldn't actually
Too
get in.
dangerous. Oh, what shame.
Yeah, but nice to look at it. Anyway, as we were leaving, it was like Friday morning,
Yeah.
so I got to listen to it like driving through like an American, coastal road
that's
that you would like in a
perfect.
film. So I heard it in optimum time, I think, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. I liked how urgent it was,
Mm.
and I thought it felt really instinctive and honest and quick and not overthought, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I loved the ending, the David Cronenberg ending.
Yeah.
We are dead, we are gone.
Wow.
No one lasts forever.
I've just realised I haven't listened to it, which is really bad.
Listen, you've been off.
I have been off. I've been very switched off, but I will listen to it.
Yeah. I think you'll like it.
Yeah. Everything I've heard from it, I really like.
And it's done incredibly well. I went to number one here. It was like
That's
her
amazing.
biggest chart in
Because
one.
Brat never went to number one here,
No.
did it? Oh, that's fantastic then.
And it was the highest charting in the States as well.
Wow.
I feel like I noticed a noticeably, not that I've been keeping my eye on Charli XCX's fame levels in America, but in America I thought she felt like a proper major famous
Really?
person.
Was she at the wedding?
She was at the
I presume
wedding.
she was, yeah.
Yeah. She was actually a savior for me at the
Wow.
wedding because I had like a crazy allergic reaction.
Why does something happen to you every time you go to LA?
Well, I don't know because I have some sort of mad allergy that I need to
So
figure out.
what happened?
So I woke up on the day of the wedding and had a juice and had a crazy allergic reaction. Like my eye, did I send you the picture?
No.
My eyes all puffed up. I looked like I was in Cats, the musical.
Oh God.
It was so bad. So bad. And like my nose inflated outwards and my eyes closed. So then I was freaking out. The hotel were freaking out because they were like, oh, are you allergic to nuts? And I was like, no. And they were like, can you breathe? I was like, yes. And they're like, is your mouth closing up? And I was like, oh, well, now I think it is.
Now I think it
And then
is.
so it was bad. And I had to go to like the ER and have a fucking
What?
steroid shot.
Oh no, babe.
Yes. On the day of the wedding.
So where does Charli come into this?
Charli came in because basically I looked crazy because my face was all inflamed and crazy. And then the steroid shot made me feel really weird. And
Yeah.
like all my joints were like hurting and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we don't know what it is. So like keep an eye on it. Like don't eat anything with a high histamine, like cheese, alcohol, nuts, seafood.
jeez.
I was like, okay. And they were like, and then just rest for the next 2 days. Do you have anything on today? I was like, yeah, a wedding. They were like, okay, take it easy. Like, do you have a doctor here? I was like, no. And then I was like, who'd have a doctor here? And Charli, I thought would have a doctor because she's lived there for a long time. So she was super helpful
So she
and
helped
super
you
caring.
find a good doctor.
Yep. And like got me her doctor's number and that helped me out.
Oh.
So she was my
good.
nurse.
I'm so glad that you had that.
Yeah. And then as soon as I started chatting to her doctor, I thought, oh, fine.
Yeah.
Because it's quite weird there. Like you can't just like go to, everything's quite segregated. You have like the emergency room, you have the urgent care, so they're all like different categories.
Yeah.
But then no one on reception there would tell you where to go because they were like, I can't give medical advice because everyone's worried like they might get sued or something.
Right. Oh God.
So I was like, kind of need to speak to a doctor. Anyway.
Wow.
So yeah, great one. That big fat crazy face.
You made it to the wedding, and did the face calm down?
It took the edge off. I had kept my sunglasses on.
Right.
But thankfully,
you were in a room full of rock stars.
Yeah, so it was fine. Everyone was like, oh, fine. Yeah.
Everyone else had an inflamed face as well.
Everyone was like, hey, you don't look very... Yeah, everyone else had also had quite a lot of injectables. Yeah. No, they'd not. But yeah, no, I saw her there and had a really nice time with her, actually. And yeah, she made me feel like I could just text that doctor whenever you like.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, weirdly, I've had 2 steroid injections this summer.
Why?
This is the summer of heat waves, football, and steroid injections.
What have you had them for?
Frozen shoulder.
Oh, shit.
Which is
shoulder,
another thing that women get in midlife that has no cure.
Frozen shoulders.
And no one has any reason or
Frozen
idea.
shoulder?
Yeah, apparently it's prolific for women in midlife. And the more women I speak to, they're like, oh yeah, I've had that.
Carrying the weight of the family's responsibilities.
Mental load, baby.
Yeah, mental load.
I don't know. I think it might be from a football tackle.
Right,
but anyway, it's fucking brutal. I haven't been at T's had to put my hair up for me all summer.
Oh.
I can't put my own hair up.
No. Is
I
it
can't
better
put my
now?
brow on. Well, the steroid injections were supposed to help. They're not really helping. But yeah, I didn't know that the steroid injections like make all your joints hurt.
Yeah, I felt weird. Well, I don't know. I just felt weird from it.
Yeah.
All day. Like
I got really sick after my first one because they lower your immune system.
Right.
I had like the first week of France, I had the worst flu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt...
What the fuck was that? It scared the bejesus out of me.
What was that?
Are we haunted? Anyway, okay. So...
Madonna's album had not come out the last time we were together.
That's mad.
Is that
Because I feel like we've talked about it for so long.
Same.
That it surely should have come out, but yeah. But it went number 1, right?
Too. Yeah,
did it go number 1?
Yeah.
It did really well, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I love you talking from a place of like,
Right?
it did well, right?
Right?
The Madonna thing?
Yeah, but they've not always done well.
No, that's true. Have you listened to it a lot?
No.
No, I listened to it.
I haven't gone back to it that much.
No, me neither. I listened to it when it came out and I had sort of like the weekend of listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I worked out when it first came out that first week. But if I'm honest, I've not gone back to it.
Yeah, me neither.
And I don't know if that's from choice or not that I'm down a hole or anything, but with Six, there's a lot of, doing the radio there's a lot of, extracurricular listening.
Mm-hmm.
So you're listening to stuff every day and like figuring out what's going to be in the show, or you're listening to stuff, that's going to be coming out because you're sort of planning for next week.
So you don't get to go back that much.
So I don't know if you'll go back to recent stuff that often,
Yeah, of course. When I left Radio 1, all I did was listen to old music for like 6 months straight.
Yeah. So I've not got back into it. But that came out, of course. I've heard that we spoke about it a little bit on here when Nia Archives came and joined us, about Madonna allegedly doing 3 shows in Hyde Park next summer.
Really?
So apparently Glastonbury's not happening.
What? Hang on. Apparently according to who? Nia? Or is this official?
No, it's just goss from Madonna's. Goss that's been about Madonna is that she's said no to Glastonbury.
No.
Yeah. And she's going to do her own shows in Hyde Park.
I mean, if you're doing 3 consecutive shows, it does make sense logistically, financially,
and I think
everything.
if you want to do the show, obviously we love Glastonbury. It's been mentioned once or twice. But if you're her, you're probably at a stage in your life where you don't want to negotiate on what the show could be.
No.
And if you're American,
you don't
do you
want to
care
you don't want to
as
compromise.
much. You don't want to compromise.
Yeah.
And also, she's not compromisey anyway.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's cute that we all have this experience of going through it and the heritage, blah, blah, blah. But if you're...
I wonder has she ever been?
Because I think would I feel emotional about, say, Lollapalooza in Chicago?
Yeah.
Like if someone said, you can do Before Midnight at this festival in Australia.
Yeah.
But you can't have what lights you want and you can't do this.
Yeah. So if they said,
like,
you had to have phones and you had to have, all the things that we don't have.
Yeah.
I would be like,
And also you don't get paid
yeah,
that much. Or you could do one in Sydney where you get whatever you want and you can make millions.
Yeah.
You'd be like, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, there's no emotional
Because
pull.
maybe there's no emotional pull.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
And I think sometimes we have that with, you know, it's probably a big ask for an artist that has been used to earning money when they perform, as opposed to losing it.
So she's not going to do.
That's all we know.
We shouldn't
Rumored.
expect her to
we
do.
shouldn't expect her.
How were your co-hosts?
Really great. Loved having Shy last week.
Yeah, she seems like such a sweetie.
So great.
And really fun and
and
funny.
really smart and really insightful.
Yeah.
And at a really interesting point, I think, creatively and personally as well. She was saying like she's in a really good relationship and he's an actor, and what it means to have someone that sort of understands what you do a little bit.
Yeah.
And they sort of talk it out, and they've been working on videos together and, you know, scripts together for things. But yeah, no, she was fab. The new song is excellent. I think it's really great. I got to listen to some more new music from her as well. Yeah. It's really good.
Wow.
Really good. I think it's really exciting, yeah.
Okay.
And she was talking about how she, like for the last album, Fontaine cited her as a reference or someone that they've been listening to when they made Romance. They were very into Shygirl, or they'd been to see her a couple of times, whatever. And she said, likewise, like, you know, she was trying to...
If you are hearing strange banging noises, that's because there is strange banging noises coming from the ceiling.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know, it's freaking me out, but we're going to pretend that it's not, this room is not haunted.
It's definitely
probably
not
someone
haunted.
cleaning the windows or something.
Yeah.
We're just going to crack on with our podcast. Oh my God.
It's definitely not a haunting.
My imagination is fucking on fire right now.
No,
These
it's
things could be
definitely just a
happening.
window cleaner. The windows do need a cleaner, I will say, at the BBC.
Yeah.
It looked disgusting.
Yeah.
It looks a little crusty out there, guys.
Okay, well, back to the co-hosts.
I had Nia Archives and also Nats, and it was great because I had Nats for the Mercury Prize nominations. Yeah. The shortlisted albums, of course, for the Mercury Prize 2026.
So another thing we haven't talked about.
Another thing we're not spoken
Jesus.
about. And Nats were up for it, which was great. So they were here. They were so great.
We listened to their album actually on Halls.
I really liked them.
Really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
And I really liked them. They were really great fun.
Yeah.
Dead good to hang out with. And then the week after we had Nia Archives, who's also up for the Mercury Prize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Nia Archives.
Yes.
Today, just today, as we speak, posted a video of her wing walking.
No. Crazy.
She said this is the first.
There she is. Might be Nia Archives
She said this
scaling
is the first.
roof.
This is the first jungle swing walk, and it was to promote her show at Ali Pali.
She's an adrenaline junkie.
Is she?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, she's that on it.
I was jealous. I was like, oh, I'd love to wing walk.
Why don't you do it?
I think I might have to,
Stick you
babe.
up there.
Yeah.
I would hate to wing walk.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they were all good. They were all really good. Everyone was like, oh, not as good as Annie, not as good as Annie. That was the production team. So it's nice to have you back. It was. Yeah.
It's getting people in trouble.
We also both had birthdays since we've been apart.
We had birthdays.
What did you do for your birthday?
So I, inspired by our good friend Ian, announced a birthday party.
Yes.
At the end of last year.
You did.
Because I was like, I'm sick. I want to see my friends. I want to party. I'm telling you now to keep this date free. The closer it got to the date, the more I realised that some core people, looking at you, and other people, couldn't come.
A summer birthday is hell.
It's hell.
As
It's impossible.
another summer person,
It's
everyone's
impossible.
away. Yeah.
You can't ask people not to go on holidays to be at your birthday party. It's a bit of a big ask.
Yeah.
So for some reason, I just found it more and more stressful, this idea of putting it on birthday in my house as well. And I just decided like 3 days before, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to name the pub. I'm going to name the time.
So much better.
And I'm going to say, I'll see you there.
Yeah.
And then I can leave whenever I like. It's really chill. And it just worked out perfectly.
I did the exact same thing.
We all went to Maggie's. There was cake. There was an amazing game of football. There was pints. It was bloody brilliant.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I'll have pie. And then as it got closer, exactly the same. Everyone's on their holidays. And I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So I said, let's just all meet here for a drink.
Yeah.
It's the way to do it.
Perfect.
Happy
And then
birthday.
and happy birthday to
Thank you.
babe. 48.
42.
Look at us. Look
Look
at
at
us go.
What else happened?
I had a moment, you know the moment you had with Charli XCX in LA in the car with the album?
Oh, yes.
I had an equivalent moment with Phoebe Bridgers' album
Oh, yes.
in Ireland. Driving through country lanes in the sunshine alongside the sea with this album and on a first listen on my way into a town to buy some estrogen for my HRT. It's probably a bit too much information.
No.
It's good to know.
Yeah, good to know, yeah.
Fucking hell. I loved it. I've listened to it about 30 times.
I like that you said that I saw in your Substack that you said you almost levitated out of your chair.
I literally did.
That was the estrogen.
It was the lack of.
Lack of.
No, that was during the song Bobby.
Oh, yes.
Which I loved a lot. For some reason, that one goes really well with driving. But I just loved it. Like, I've obviously listened to all her old stuff, but not like obsessively like this one. But this one's really got to me. I love the production. I like it's heavier and kind of more dense, and it just feels like really fraught with emotion and like an exorcism of feelings. Like she had to get that stuff down and out, and that's like, it feels like urgent, you know, and exciting.
I think it went to number 1 this week.
It did, yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm sorry to miss her show at the Union Chapel.
Oh, yeah. Tiny little church show.
Yeah. And no phones and like no Fitbits, no technology.
Fitbits?
Yeah, you have to put everything in, like smartwatches, everything.
Why? What's that doing?
Because you can like record stuff and...
on your watch.
And
okay. So she was the anti-steps.
And it can send texts and there can be beeps and, you know, all that. So I like the idea of a gig like that, but with like no sort of...
If you're going to be in a church, be in a church. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Take it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the olden days, please. Lollapalooza happened, which looked phenomenal. I saw that Charli headlined and the show looked really good.
Yeah.
Really great show.
Yeah. I saw some footage of Jade there. Who else did I see there?
I loved how Jade said Lollapalooza.
How did she say it?
Lollapalooza. Well, more flattering than that, but it was just great to hear a Geordie say accent. Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really great. Kacey Musgraves went on that massive tour as well.
But we have to talk about
in April.
We have to talk about the sequin balls.
Yeah, so she told us about the mirror balls. And we were like, right. And she's like, there's going to be some big balls.
Yeah.
Now, I thought... balls.
She didn't tell us the context.
Like a ball you'd kick.
Yeah, what she meant was testicles.
Testicles.
She meant like giant mirror ball testicles.
Yes.
That she sits in the middle of, and the testicles hang off the ceiling and she sits on them. So it's kind of like a testicle receptacle, like a bench, but like testicles.
Testicles. Yeah.
And Christine sent us a video, producer Christine, and we watched it. And at the very end, she's singing like very earnestly on these testicles. And then at the end, she goes, "This is what happens when no one tells you no."
I mean, the top comment was discrotum.
Discrotum.
So it was a sort of disco scrotum.
Yeah. I loved it.
It's quite the...
I loved it very much.
Yeah.
She's such a stoner, man.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, being like, mirror ball balls.
Yeah.
Wait, mirror balls. Like, you know that's what happened.
You know that's what happened.
You know that's what happened.
So that's a highlight. Have you been able to handle the heat, babe?
No, I've
We've had 5 heat waves in the UK.
I've hated it.
5 heat waves.
I've loved today that I've got a jumper on.
You know, it's so funny because I was in Ireland for 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, and over there they're like, "Oh, it's going to be a hot one today, 25 degrees."
No, that's perfect.
We're like, lads, that's relatively cool.
That's
like
perfect.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm all for the hot weather when I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
If you got the hot weather,
yeah,
and today you're getting a baguette and eating it on the beach, crank it to 8,000 degrees.
Actually, no, that's too much.
But if you're getting on the tube, someone's sticking a camera in your face and say, "Interview Nia Archives."
Yeah.
I'm not having it.
Yeah. No,
so it's more like the sittiness of it.
Yeah.
Because
and also
my mum
having
keeps
to wear
saying
little clothes in the city, like getting all your toes out and grimy and like
you can't do a flip flop on the central line. It's filthy down there. It's never been cleaned.
Yeah.
So it's not the same. My mum's like, "I quite like it." I'm like, "Yeah, you got a nice back garden.
Yeah.
You're drinking wine out there."
Yeah.
So I think it's sort of location dependent. I think in a city, if you're in a city, it's
but
it's
mate,
tough.
like here, when you're in a city and it's that hot, it's way beyond that. Like there was those
disgusting
statistics about Oxford Street, like the actual ground on Oxford Street being like 50 something degrees, like, and like the tube, like everything just, the heat just soaks up and accumulates.
Vile.
It's actually not okay.
I'm really enjoying the El Nino news that it's going to be worse next year.
Yeah, but isn't it going to be like 2 months of rain first in autumn or something?
Yeah, that's coming first.
Yeah,
so the worst storms of your life, and then hotter than ever next year.
How can we link this back to music? I know. There was a big climate protest in Sweden this weekend, and Robin went on it and was interviewed. Apparently she was very encouraged because she wants to know that her child or children are going to grow up in a world maybe not ravaged by climate change.
I worry the ship sailed, if I'm honest, Robin.
Babe, it's so depressing, isn't it?
No, it's so depressing.
Actually, yeah, let's move on. Because I don't allow myself to think about it too much. All you can do is the little things. Grow some fucking flowers. Do you know what I mean? Get the bumblebees and the butterflies in your garden or on your windowsill.
Oh, another thing that happened while we were away was that Sam Fender and Olivia Dean are right where they were when we left each other. They're
Still at number one. No one took the place the whole time.
So they now have the the most amount of weeks spent at number one ever.
Wow.
Which is ridiculous.
That is
Crazy,
incredible.
Isn't it?
There's something mad about that song. Like when you hear it, it is never annoying.
No.
It's got something about it. It's so breezy and gorgeous. Like it never grates. It's never.
I know what you mean, totally.
It's so warm.
And there's like a nostalgia to it, or like a longing or a yearning or something that makes me think, the good old days.
Yeah.
It's just from 2 years
But
ago.
it's also really alive. It feels alive.
Yeah.
It feels human. It feels, I don't know. It's really hard to.
And I think their voices together sort of seemingly unexpected and really shouldn't, but they do. And I don't know.
Yeah. It's mad. I love it though. I love that song is the song that has been number one because it could be, bloody
something else,
K-pop or something. No, just
K-pop
K-pop.
Demon Hunters.
But it's nice when it's a song like that,
like an actual song,
with real instruments,
with real life lyrics and real life instruments. Unbelievable. So that takes us up to this week.
Have we caught up?
We've caught up essentially. This week there's a lot to cover. The VMAs have announced their nominations. The MTV Video Music Awards are going to be happening at the end of September time in Los Angeles, and Madonna leads with the most nominations this year, 11 in total.
It's incredible. And also Taylor has 9 nominations. Billboard have pointed out that 7 of the 8 most nominated artists this year are women.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
Madonna's 14-minute video, Confessions 2. The film, which was sort of a mashup of all little bits of songs, wasn't it? It's nominated for Video of the Year.
I read about this, and apparently last year the winner was the Taylor Swift video, which was also like 20 minutes long, and then the year before was Ariana Grande video, which was 28 minutes long. And it made me think that's kind of not fair because you guys have all the money, and like what about the little people who can only afford to make a 3-minute long video?
Which still costs like 50 grand.
Right, it did make me feel a bit.
Yeah. Madonna is going to be up against Harry Styles, Tate McRae, Pink Pantheress and Zara Larsson, Lady Gaga and Doechii, and Slater as well for Best Dance Track. Which she's never won, Madonna.
Isn't she also up for Artist of the Year? I think she's also up for Artist of the Year at VMAs, which she's never been nominated before.
Wow. Well, she is kind of the pop star, and from that pop star era that made the VMAs exciting.
Well, she played the first ever VMAs.
First ever one, yeah.
So that kind of shows the breadth.
Yeah, which
her.
I think was 84. I think it was my year of birth.
That's mad, isn't it? So over 40 years later,
she's
the most nominated person.
Kind of amazing.
That is kind of amazing.
I went once to it. I think it was 2010, but it was the year that Lady Gaga wore the meat dress.
Right.
So I went to that VMAs, and it was Florence was performing. Dog Days Are Over. So it was like that era.
Yeah, I remember,
And it was when Kanye did Toast for the Douchebags for the very first time. Yeah. That was like a new song that he premiered there. Yeah. And Drake played, and Mary J. Blige played. It was a good year.
That's a very good year.
The meat dress, very iconic.
Very
Cher
iconic.
was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's good news for Madonna. She's having a fucking fantastic year. Reading and Leeds is this weekend.
Yes.
Festival season continues.
Yes. And it's kind of the end is almost nigh, isn't it, for festival season?
Yeah.
Reading and Leeds is going to be this weekend. The lineup is kind of amazing, actually. The main stage, it's had a kind of a bit of a revamp.
Yeah.
Have you seen like how it looks now? It's no longer like yellow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all different look. Yeah. The main stage is now called The Grid.
Wow.
Grid.
Sounds like a game show.
Welcome to the grid. And the lineup for the main stage, aka The Grid, is Charli XCX, Dave, Florence the Machine, Fontaines, Ray, Kasabian, Skepta, Role Model, Jade, Chase and Status, Slater, and Loyal Kana. So some big names on there.
But also some names that have been around forever.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, isn't it? Like with the headliners.
Yeah.
But good to see a lot of UK and Irish artists there. It's not all big American names, which is good.
Shygirl actually spoke about Reading last week on the podcast, saying that it was her very first festival, and I thought you'd like this little clip because I said, you know, what was it like going to your very first Reading and Leeds?
Reading was the first festival I ever went to.
How was it?
I remember I just went with a sleeping bag and I fancied someone, so I was like, oh, I'm going to get in his tent.
Wow.
And I was like, I have one mission, and there's there's no alternative. And success.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. So that would have been 2010.
Yeah, 2010ish. Yeah. Shy there.
I think that's very it's very insightful because it just goes to show her laser sharp focus and her ambition
and her vision.
She's like, I'm going to get this because there's no other option. If you make it like that, then you just have to.
Yeah.
Respect.
So good luck if you are heading to a festival this weekend with just a sleeping bag and a dream.
I couldn't do it.
No, I could not do it. Oh, not anymore, guys. Not anymore.
So we have the grid. There's also another immersive second stage.
What does that mean?
It means loads of LED.
Right.
I suppose. Loads of visuals.
This stage is immersive.
Yeah. Called The Gallery. Kneecap are headlining that. Geese are playing. Adela and Rose Gray, who CMAT recommended to us when she was in.
Yeah.
There's one stage, babe, that will not be at Reading or Leeds this year.
No.
And that is the BBC Introducing stage. So Festival Republic have ditched it. Even though the scheme has supported roughly 70% of all the UK artists on this year's lineup, they're replacing it with a stage called Canopy, which they say will open up this important platform to a much wider emerging pool of talent. So a more wider emerging?
So basically...
So is that kind of saying that the Introducing wasn't wide enough?
Well, I think... What it means is, so for anyone who's unaware, BBC Introducing happens at all different radio stations all around the country. It's localised, yeah. So there'll be BBC Introducing in Manchester, BBC Introducing in Sheffield, and then anyone can send their music in, unsigned new artists, and maybe BBC Introducing will play it on the radio station in the local area.
Yeah.
And then that can be sort of consolidated to BBC Introducing on Radio 1 or BBC Introducing on 6 Music. And then that means your song from a new unsigned act could be played on national radio. And it's supported loads of great people. As Annie just said there, 70% of all the UK artists on this year's lineup have been supported from
When you say
BBC.
supported, what? Played?
Played.
Right.
Yeah. So loads of people have sort of come through it, or, you know, BBC Introduced have spotted them and played them or whatever. But they're not going to do this stage at the festival this year. They want to do like their own version of it, which means the artists don't have to have come through BBC Introducing. So,
what does this mean?
Don't know. What does it mean? Like, why?
I reckon...
Because it's quite a successful...
Maybe they feel it's tired.
Yeah.
Maybe they have this... You never know what's going on behind the scenes to you in terms of like relationships and conversations and allegiances. You never know.
And you never know, like, are the BBC covering it in the same way? Maybe it's like they're not, and they're like, well,
maybe they can't
sack that off,
commit to it as much.
Maybe there's no money.
Because there used to be a Radio 1 dance stage at NME. Reading and Leeds. I don't know if there's that anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, some people are calling this Canopy stage the Nepo baby stage because of the list of artists who are going to perform over the weekend. They are Cruz Beckham, Violet Grohl, a band called People I've Met, which has Chris Martin's son in it, and Villanelle, whose frontman is Gene Gallagher, Liam's son. So that's quite the list of offspring of very, very, very famous
people.
So you have the offspring of Coldplay, Oasis, Foo Fighters, and the Beckhams.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it?
Kind of
It's
annoying
like the
if you're
90s.
in BBC Introducing act and you're like, well, can they just play another stage?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But they do have other good
They do have
legit
other
bands.
acts on as well.
Gurriers from Dublin, who are like doing really well
Yes.
in Ireland at the moment. They had a massive gig at All Together Now over the summer. Seb Lowe, who's a folk punk artist, rappers Kibo and Finesse Kid from London, and a singer-songwriter called Amma. But babe, this brings me to something that I actually put in the group over the summer. I think it's the one contribution I put in the group all summer. My bad.
Listen, babe, you were off.
Thank you for your understanding. It was an article about Nepo babies, and it was like asking the question, do Nepo babies ever really make resonant, evocative art? Like, are they able... I mean, even saying it, I feel like a fucking idiot.
No,
because
but thank you for watching, and see you next week.
No, but like I think it's, can you generalize people? Like, everyone is individual. They have their own individual life experiences.
Absolutely.
And yes, your parents could be famous and successful, but you never know what people have been through. Or
Absolutely.
I'm not defending Nepo babies.
No, but I'm also not out here hating them because one, it could be like the family business.
Yeah.
For example, Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Who's the best Nepo baby? Like,
but it's like, well, it's not that weird that she'd born to do it. Yeah, she's good and gets it. And then I think it comes down to if it's good or not.
I think it does too.
Because it's, you know, I mean, if your dad is Liam Gallagher, yeah, and you've spent your life listening to music and being around music, and you know anything's possible, and you could do anything. You know, they were from nothing and they became this band.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Most Nepo babies aren't from nothing.
No, I know, but I mean, something could come from nothing. So there's a sort of limitlessness.
I get
that. There's a sense of being limitless in the household because so it might be a sort of contagious, encouraging energy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
It doesn't mean like because Liam and Noel have created something out of nothing that their kids should have to go and do an uncreative job.
100%.
It also doesn't mean that they should get a leg up over people that don't have the privilege of, you know, having an in to playing at Reading and Leeds Festival. But unfortunately, that's the way the world works, and it's horrible and unfair.
Nepotism goes a long way.
And it ain't just the music industry, guys.
It's every industry.
It's everywhere.
So it was an article in the New Yorker which was called Stella Lefty and the Rise of Nepo Baby Musicians and Industry Plants. Stella Lefty, by the way, is a musician whose dad is a billionaire and owns Groupon. So
Stella Lefty.
But I think we should open this out to our listeners.
Yeah, what do you think about it? Because there's not really a answer.
Yeah, and like, when you hear that someone is a child of a successful artist, or in this case a billionaire, do you kind of recoil? Does that put you off? Or does it change your listening experience?
I'd say it does, and I think, and I'm not saying that with pride.
Yeah,
I think it maybe it makes me it's a little judgmental.
Yeah,
you know, can't help it.
Gracie Abrams was interviewed on Popcast recently and answered a question about it quite well, I thought.
Yeah. But she was like aware of her.
Yeah, I think you have to be, if you, like, as soon as you start denying,
forget
it's game over.
Yeah, I thought she answered it really well.
You have to be like, yeah, of course I'm going to get more opportunities. You know, I got music lessons from when I was young. Like, there's so much more than just knowing people. It's also the access that you have to studio spaces and instruments and lessons and learning and confidence and knowing how to talk to people and fucking all that. All that shit goes on and on and on.
And also the freedom to be like, I could do fuck all.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you've 100%. Not got like, I've got to revise. You can be like, I don't need to revise.
I can go and work in a placement for a year just learning with not have to earn a penny.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
huge.
there's immense privilege, but that doesn't necessarily mean the music you make is going to be shit.
No, it doesn't. You can still make good music.
Yeah.
But can you make great music? And this is the thing. So if you think of the greats, everyone has, a lot of the greats, not all of them, but a lot of the greats have come from nothing. And they've had to work their way through and fight their way through and prove themselves over and over again through their art. And a lot of them are deeply troubled because of what's happened to them in childhood or whatever. So their music has become their life. Whereas, can you have that when you have had this lovely privileged upbringing? Now, you might have had terrible relationships with family or whatever.
You could still have a traumatic.
You still could have a traumatic, but like, can you have the same, do you have the same hunger for it, you know?
And also like, I not that every artist has to go to something horribly traumatic to make it, but the idea that that's their sort of window of hope, or like that's their light, like that's their saving grace. Hard to feeling passionate about the music of someone that you know has just had a really nice summer in Saint-Tropez on their dad's yacht.
Yeah, exactly.
Can still be all right.
We'll put it out to the audience. Let us know what you think. Who's your favourite Nepo baby? Who's defying...
Don't do your least favourite.
Who's defying the argument of like Nepo babies can't make real art?
Yes. That's what we want to know.
Who's doing it well?
Yeah,
who's
doing
proving
it
everyone
well?
wrong?
Because also it's the family business.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just musically talented, you don't have to be rich people.
Yeah, it's you see it a lot in acting.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
many acting
totally.
offspring of...
Yeah.
So that's that. That's Reading and Leeds.
I saw something that I wanted to talk about, which was Turnstile, who had huge success with Never Enough, which came out like June of last year. So this is coming out this Friday, and they've done sort of a reimagined version of the album.
Yeah.
And the array of people I got, and it was so interesting to me, and not who I would have put with Turnstile, which is why I thought I should mention it today. I'm talking about Elton John is on it.
Wow.
A.G. Cook, Blood Orange, Fortet.
Wow.
So many interesting people are on it. Hayley Williams.
Wow.
Like it's an all-star lineup of people that have sort of reimagined tracks from this album. So that is going to be out on Friday. And then Turnstile are doing that big festival in East London at All Points East with Tyler the Creator
this
as
weekend.
well. But it's quite a mad array of people, isn't it?
Oh, you're away.
I'm away. You're not going to be here.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that's happening this weekend is, of course, in West London, Notting Hill Carnival.
Yes.
I have booked tickets to what I think might be the gig of the year.
What's that?
It's called Panorama.
Uh-huh.
And it happens every Saturday night, or every week, every Notting Hill Carnival, the night before the carnival happens. It is the biggest steel band competition.
Oh my God.
In the UK.
Someone was talking to me about this yesterday.
So it is in a local park, right by T Studio, and you have like, I think 6 steel bands fighting out for the big prize. So we're going on Saturday night. I'm gassed.
Apparently it's amazing.
Yeah.
Someone I was speaking to about yesterday, they said that they always go.
Yeah.
Because they live there. But they're actually moving out this weekend because they said
It's a bit much, I can
can't
imagine.
handle it.
But we have a listener message from Izzy in Cambridge.
Hi, Izzy.
About Notting Hill Carnival. She says, hey, Annie and Nick, with Notting Hill Carnival coming up, what do you think is the best way to go to avoid the crowds? And
Go the weekend after.
And getting overwhelmed while still having a good time. I remember Annie talking about finding a quiet spot last year. Would love some tips as it's my first time going. Okay, Izzy, go early, leave early. The end. It starts at like midday. Go there, be in the area for like 11:30, and you'll see all of the actual carnival with the actual floats, and that will be amazing.
Do you have a prime position as our West London correspondent?
Not really.
Top of Ladbroke Grove?
I think Kensal Road is great.
Yeah.
Top of Ladbroke Grove, Kensal Road is amazing. You get to see everything, and there's amazing view when you're at the top of Ladbroke Grove. You can see all the way down the road, and it just looks incredible. The whole road is just packed out.
Yeah.
So colourful. And then I would also leave. This is what I've been doing recently in the last few years, is leaving quite early. So I never stay to the end. I leave around 4. I try and be try and be out of there by 4.
See, I've done
5 latest.
Yeah, I've done it wrong before, where I've like gone at 3.
Yeah.
And everyone, literally a million other people have that idea.
Go early because you actually get to see the carnival properly.
Could I also make a recommendation? Last time, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, I just left on my own.
Yeah.
Didn't try and wrangle everyone together.
Genius.
I was like, see you guys later. Got a line bike.
Yeah.
And I cycled all the way from West London to East London.
Yeah.
And I stopped halfway and treat myself to a Pizza Express for one.
Yes, Grimmy! I love
Kept
it.
the line bike.
I love it.
No one tried to get on it.
I would say, Izzy, go on Sunday, go early, leave early.
Yeah.
And Goulburn Road is fab. All around there is fab.
Yeah, but I think don't over-plan it once you're there.
Yeah,
Just feel
walk
it
around
out.
and feel it out.
Yeah. Have a great time. Let us know how it goes. Let us know if you are going to things this weekend, because I know this is sort of like kind of one of the final weekends of festivals. I know there's some others, but this is kind of like the last hurrah of the summer. So let us know if you are at anything at All Points East or Reading or Leeds or Carnival.
Yeah, we'd love to hear
get
from
in
you.
touch.
Yeah.
If you want to get in touch, you can just send us a WhatsApp. You could send us a voice note.
Send it from the ground.
That's
Let
what
us
I
know,
mean.
Yeah.
Send us it
Gig
from
reviews.
there. 079 700 82700. Or you could email us sidetracked@bbc.co.uk if you fancy.
Yeah, and don't forget to get in that Instagram community channel as well. BBC Sounds Instagram. Join through the link in the bio. There's all sorts of chat going on there, all through the time, all
It's
through
going
the
to be
weeks.
a good weekend of music. I actually had Stush on the show this week.
And
she's
so nice.
is so nice. And she was saying she's going to be at Carnival with T, and and she's going to be at Carnival with Rampage as well.
Yeah.
And she got us all excited for it.
That's amazing. I love her.
Well, Annie, nice to be reunited.
Nice to remember each other, babe.
Right, exactly.
Have the most amazing time in New York. I'm so
Thank
jealous.
you. I'm not here next week, which is terrible planning.
I know.
But I have another wedding. I'm a professional wedding attender.
I know.
So I'm going to New York.
I do love a wedding, though.
Yeah, same.
Have you got your outfit?
No.
Okay.
Not got my wedding. I've not got a hotel.
Well, let's hope that you don't have some sort of allergic outbreak this time.
No, don't, because that's obviously all I can think about. PTSD.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. We're like, Charli, have you got a doctor in New York?
She probably does.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, babe. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
See you later.